Social Zoom Factor, episode 235.
Driving results in business these days takes something special. It's a combination of the right info and the right energy. Pam Moore has both and is here to help you avoid the pitfalls and guide your business and life by leveraging and integrating social media, powerful branding, and digital marketing. Welcome to Social Zoom Factor. Now it's time to live life zoomed.
Are you ready to make your dream of owning and launching a business a reality? Our partner HostGator has everything you need to make that dream come to life online. Zoom your business turbo by visiting socialzoomfactor.com/zoom and save 50% on your hosting package. Again, that's socialzoomfactor.com/zoom. Save 50% now. Hey there, Zoomers, and welcome to Social Zoom Factor. This is your host, Pam Moore. All right, today we are talking about something a little personal. How about some personal branding? I have a question to kick off this conversation. Do you need to worry about your personal brand as a working professional? Do you think that your personal brand is something that you should be concerned about? Or do you think that personal branding is only for those quote unquote online gurus who are wanting to get rich and famous online or who have a business that requires them to be online all the time? So I want you to think about that answer. The good news is I'm going to give you the answer that I believe in, and from experience of working with many organizations from solo entrepreneurs all the way up to Fortune 10 brands. Now, I also want to tell you that this conversation today is just a little tiny appetizer for a much broader conversation and training that we are doing. We are now, I don't know, hopefully you've seen them, but we are hosting a series of webinars, and we're doing these just about every week, at least like 3 times a month. You can catch the latest webinar always at themarketingnutswithaz.com/webinar. And just so happens to be that this Thursday, September 28th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, I am hosting a webinar on personal branding. And I will be giving you the 7 foundations to build out your personal brand to really ignite that you factor. So head on over to themarketingnuts.com/personal brand webinar. Okay, so let's go ahead and dig into the meat of this conversation today, and that is on personal branding. So I'm going to ask you the question again. Do you need to think about, build out, and be concerned about your personal brand as a working professional? The answer is, drum roll, absolutely yes. Okay. And I'm going to give you 5 big reasons why you must be thinking about your personal brand and why you need to take ownership of the brand perceptions that you are leaving in the market and with your ideal customer. Okay, with your prospective customers, your existing customers, your community, your audience. So number 1 reason is that you are your brand. You already have a brand. Okay, your brand is made up of perceptions more than it is colors and logos. So think about that for a minute. And I know maybe you have already created or you plan to create a beautiful brand architecture with the perfect colors, and you're going to have a beautiful logo. You may already have that. And you may be thinking, Pam, I don't need a personal brand because I already have my business brand. Everything's locked and loaded. You know, I put all my social profiles. They are all beautiful. And even if you do have personal profiles, you're like, everything's up there. It matches my business. That's all that I need. Now, let me peel back the layers here for you. You have a brand regardless if you plan it out or not. Okay. So when you walk into a room, when you leave a comment on a Facebook page, when you present in front of a group of people, whether that be online or offline, in a live video, when you send out tweets, when you write a blog post, when you post a video on any of the social networks, whether it be live video on Facebook or Instagram, a video up on stories like Instagram stories or on your story feed, wherever you're posting content, every single piece of that content is leaving either a good or a bad brand impression. So if you are leaving content as a human being that is intended to connect with another human being, and you are not thinking about how you are being portrayed, right? Because your brand is more about perceptions than it is about your colors and your logos. So many people are throwing massive amount of content out there. It's getting crazy. Would you agree with me that the amount of people and brands that are throwing social content spaghetti on the wall, trying to gain attention, is getting out of control? What are they doing to their brands? What is the perception? They may think it's good, right? And I talk a lot about the social buzz versus the social bucks. So that content may be getting shared. However, that content is likely not all of it converting to real business. And we recently did a webinar, and I have a blog post on content that converts. And I'll be doing a podcast here soon talking about the same topic. But it's not about noise, right? It's not about just throwing as much content as we can out there. What we want to do is think about, how do we want our personal brand as well as our business brand to be perceived, right? And you need to think through, how does your personal brand either lead your business? So if you're a small business, there are many solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, small business that have a human that is actually the face of their company. And there's even a lot of large businesses that do that, or they may have multiple people that are the face of a specific division within the company. So if you are in that situation, you need to be thinking through, how is my personal brand going to relate to my business? So is it going to sit alongside my business? Is it going to kind of be in the back, or is it going to be in the front where I'm the face of that company? And we actually get a lot of clients that come to us wanting us to help them. Maybe it's an owner of a company or an executive wanting to build out more faces or a face to their company, or make themselves the face of their company. So this is something people are doing. It's something that, whether you do it or not, there are likely people who are coming in contact with your brand who already see you as the face of your company, even if you're only doing it on your personal Facebook page and on your personal Twitter feed and Instagram. Okay. So even if you haven't planned it out and said, I am the face of my business, there are likely people that already think that you are. So that goes back to the question, should you be concerned with your personal brand? You absolutely should. And we do a ton of training, across the globe with small and large audiences. And I'll tell you, I would say about 90 to 95% of people that are usually in the rooms where I'm training have not put together their brand strategy. And so I really want you to think about the perceptions that you are leaving with everybody that is coming in contact with your brand. And I'm not telling you that to scare you. I'm telling you that just so you can really take it into consideration, because you have a personal brand regardless if you've consciously designed or thought about it or not. Okay. So that those perceptions are so very important. And those are the words that people are using to describe you. Your brand is everything that you do. It's what you say, how you drive. It's, what you write in an email, even when you're frustrated with a partner or a service or product provider. It's every single thing you are posting on every network, from Snapchat to LinkedIn to Instagram and beyond. So we really want to be thinking about who we are and what we stand for, and make sure that you are taking charge of your brand and that you are thinking about sustainability versus letting emotions drive you, while at the same time making sure that you have the right level of transparency, that you are sharing enough about yourself that is going to attract the right customers to your business, the right people to your community. So there is a lot of thought that needs to go into personal branding. It's not just your logo or just your colors. I wish it was that simple, but it really isn't. You really need to have a strategy. And that is why I really recommend you check out the webinar that we're doing on personal branding. I know it will help many of you and really give you a solid start. Our training, the Social Profit Factor, really helps you get to the meat of that too and build out not only your personal brand strategy, but your business strategy with social and digital and everything you're doing on the web. The number 2 reason why you must be thinking about your personal brand is human beings buy from other human beings. So when we're engaging in the online world, we're not only talking to logos, right? When was the last time you ever gave your credit card to a logo at a business or online? You're trusting that there is humans behind that business that are going to take care of you, right? Humans that you are going to be able to go to if something goes wrong. So people buy from other people. And those of you who work in sales, or maybe you're working in some type of role where you're interacting with human beings on a regular basis, you know this, like you experience this. But I think a lot of times people that may be working behind the scenes and maybe they're selling a software product, they are forgetting that it's actually a human that is reading their content online. And this is why so much we talk about knowing your audience and developing that audience-based marketing strategy where nothing comes before knowing your audience and developing a strategy that's developing content to serve them. Number 3 reason is consistency. So it takes 5 to 7 brand impressions before somebody will remember who you are. Okay. So that's just them remembering your brand. And that's not including, actually earning trust and building authority and leadership within your market. So if you are a new business and you only launch with a logo, you are going to have a much tougher road ahead in earning that trust and authority and building out those personal relationships, because social media really is about a one-to-one conversation. It's about communicating with a person who's engaging with your content and being able to connect with them and drive that action. I always say social currency equals attention plus action. So you need the consistency so that people will remember you. You need them to know what your role is, and whether it's alongside your brand, making sure that your brand perceptions that you are personally leaving are a direct, appropriate representation of your business brand. And that consistency is not only going to help them remember you, but it's also going to help them trust you quicker, right? You're going to earn their trust because people connect at a human level. People connect and trust humans before they trust a logo. And I know I've done a ton of podcasts about this in the past where we've talked about, and I've shared you some of the statistics, which are shocking actually, about how people will trust employees much more than they will trust even a CEO of a large company, right? So it's so important that you're thinking about the brands and the personal brands of your team. Now, this does not mean that every person within your organization needs to be a rock star building out their personal brand, or that, every single type of person in any type of career needs to make sure they're doing this. However, everybody does have a personal brand unless you are hiding under a rock. Number 4 is that personal brands go with you no matter where you work, where you live, or where you play. So your personal brand is something that you can take with you no matter where you go. So regardless of what industry you're working in right now, what company you're working for, what type of job you have today. You may be brand new in your career, or you may be, a senior person who's ready to keep climbing that corporate ladder, or even with your small business. Your personal brand goes with you. So when you invest in your personal brand, and particularly when you are able to get the support from your company and your employer to help you build out that brand, that's an asset that you have that you can't even put a price tag on it. So that's something you're going to be able to take with you no matter where you go. And let me tell you, there is value. There is an ROI directly associated with building out your personal brand. And I can tell you from experience, I mean, take a look at our profiles online. I spent 15 years in corporate America. I then started my agency a little over 6 years ago, almost 7 years ago. And, we have over a tribe of over 1 million today, right? I can send one tweet and I get, between 500 and 900 plus clicks on that one tweet. So there is value in earning trust. There's a reason why we have a 53% to 83% conversion rate on all of our content we put out there, on our free content, because people trust us. I am the face of my company. Our companies have changed. We've sold different companies that we've had, but the one thing that has stayed consistent is me. So particularly if you are an entrepreneur, or if you are in a career where you're going to be changing companies and you're going to own multiple companies over time, or you're going to work for multiple companies, your personal brand is going to go with. Last but not least, reason number 5 is social business starts from the inside out. So becoming a business that is social, so you're integrating social, it's not only going to transform your business, but it's also going to reveal who your business is. And yes, I said who your business is. So if you do not trust your employees to represent your brand, if you do not invest in your team so that they are a breathing, living, walking, tweeting, Instagram, Snapchatting, live video posting representation of your brand, if you don't invest in them, they're going to do it on their own anyway. Right? Even if they are doing it behind a private Facebook personal page that they have, profile, or the private Instagram account, it doesn't matter if it's private. They are still leaving brand perceptions about themselves and about your company if they work for you. There's no such thing that I believe as, my tweets are my own or my posts are my own. If I know you work for a specific company, that is a direct representation of the company you work for. Okay, and I have stories after stories, real life stories of how brands are impacted by the behavior of their employees. So if you lead a team, or you own a company, or you are part of a team, you need to be thinking about the impact your communications and your behavior is having on your employers. And it's being proactive and ensuring that you are helping your communities, your prospective customers, trust your brand with your actions. Your team, your employees, they are your greatest asset, right? And so what you want to do is just make sure you're working together and empower your team. Start from the inside out. What we put on our logos and the colors, that is only one small piece of what is a brand perception. So there you have it in a nutshell. I gave you 5 solid reasons that you cannot ignore your personal brand. Okay, it doesn't mean you have to be a rock star, but you need to be at least having a plan and a strategy for how you want to represent yourself online. So I'm going to leave you with a last question, and I want to ask you, does your current personal brand properly represent who you are? So if I were to meet you in real life and talk to you and really get to the heart of who you are, what you stand for, what matters to you, is that same foundation what is being exuded online? So if I go and I look at your social profiles, I look at your blog, I look at wherever you are, the content you're sharing, would those same values, would that same foundation shine through on your social web footprint, right? Would I feel and experience the same thing that I'm experiencing from you in real life? If not, then you definitely have some work to do in this area. And don't feel bad if you need to kind of just hit reset and start all over. That is fine. Do it. Do a refresh. Take it to the next level. And, as we're in Q4 almost, October, getting ready to go right into 2018, it's a perfect time for you to pick it up and really just enter the new year with a solid foundation. And that is exactly why we have built out our Social Profit Factor Training Academy and why we're doing these webinars. We are 100% there to help you. So we would love to have you in our training academy. I encourage you to go check it out. It is socialprofitfactor.com. It is loaded with courses that are a blueprint to give you a roadmap and everything you need to get started in building out your personal and your business brand to be successful online. And if you use the coupon code ZOOM, you will be able to save an undisclosed amount off of that one-time payment. So I encourage you to go check that out, socialprofitfactor.com, and use the coupon code ZOOM. Thank you so much for your time today. I hope this podcast was helpful for you, and I encourage you to think maybe in a different way and be able to really take your personal brand to the next level. That's a wrap. Do you have a big dream to launch your business online, but stuck with how to get started? The social and digital web today can be overwhelming, even to the most seasoned business and marketing leaders. Well, regardless of your experience, have no fear. Our partner HostGator can help you not only secure your business domain, help you set up hosting, but they can also help you get started with your first website, e-commerce site, blog, SEO services, and more. Their cloud and other services scale with you as your business grows, from shared VPS to dedicated servers. We host all of our sites on HostGator, and I love that their support is available 24/7, 365 days of the year via chat, phone, and email. Get started today and save 50% by visiting socialzoomfactor.com/Zoom. Again, that is socialzoomfactor.com/Zoom for an immediate 50% savings now.
If you're ready to Zoom your business and Zoom your life, then don't let the end of this episode be the end of your journey. Visit socialzoomfactor.com/Zoom for incredible free resources and guides. And be sure to join the Social Zoom Factor mailing list so you never miss an episode. We'll see you next time on Social Zoom Factor.